Welcome to I Am in Your Living Room with me, Jessica, Christina, and Tyler. Today we're launching one of the latest in our career series, our guest, Chelsea Krost. Thank you so much for joining us today, Chelsea. She is a millennial expert, entrepreneur, author, and host of the Chelsea Krost radio and television show. Chelsea has appeared on shows such as The Today Show, The Tyra Banks Show, and Good Day New York. Recently, she has launched her first startup company, Impulse. You can read Chelsea's life advice in her memoir, 19, a reflection of my teenage experience in an extraordinary life, what I've learned and what I have to share. She discusses the latest trends and hot topics that affect millennials today on her show, The Chelsea Krost Show. But the discussion doesn't stop there. The Chelsea Krost radio show offers an informative view through a panel of young adults and celebrities on Blog Talk Radio. Chelsea has had the pleasure of being the spokesperson for some of your favorite brands, such as BCBG, You by Kotex, and MasterCard. When Chelsea isn't too busy building her empire, she believes in the power of giving back. She has served on mission trips to Africa, Peru, and Missouri. Welcome to I Am in Your Living Room, and thank you again for joining us, Chelsea.
Thank you so much. I'm very excited to be here.
Thank you. Okay, so first we would really like to ask you a few questions about your career. I was just wondering, is this something that you planned or something that you expected to do while you were in college?
You know, that's a excuse. I just like to introduce everyone to my cat, Honey. They will be. This is straight out of my home office. We're doing a lot of DIY, so excuse all the bedding back here, and the cats are going to hang out. She's an attention lover. But you know what? The true, honest story is that no, I did not plan on this being my career. I really thought that I wanted to be a veterinarian, hence I have a lot of animals. And I love animals, and I thought that I was going to follow in a lot of my family members' shoes, which was practicing some sort of medicine. And I really fell into communications. My local high school had an incredible television production program, and I fell in love within the first class. I remember saying to myself, I can't wait for tomorrow so that I can come back to this class. And I loved every aspect. I loved working in front of the camera, behind the camera, directing, producing, writing, you name it. It was not just, oh, I like, working in front of the camera, which is what a lot of people see more of. And after 3 years of being in television production, I really realized that there was no outlet, there was no platform for the teenagers. At the time, 8 years ago, there was no word millennial. There was no YouTube. Facebook was just starting to get popular. There was no Twitter. There was no Instagram. There was no Vine. There were no podcasts. There was no internet radio. So I took my radio show concept to a local AM radio station, and they were crazy enough to trust a 16-year-old who was also studying for her SATs, trying to get into college and be a student, a high school student, a live show every Wednesday night. And after a year at that station, WBZT in South Florida, I knew that this was something bigger than I ever thought because of the reaction and the interaction and the collaboration, and it just kind of snowballed. It was one thing after the other, and you mentioned one thing in introducing me, that I did mission trips to Africa. Mm-hmm. Working in charity, working in philanthropy is literally what took my career to the next level. I always say, paying back is the biggest reward. You can't go into paying back knowing that you're going to get something in return, but something always happens, for me personally. And I created this first mission trip to Africa in efforts of feminine hygiene care because I met this incredible Rwandan refugee who was a guest on my radio show in Florida. And she taught me the power of feminine hygiene care products. And I said, and the reason that we were talking about feminine hygiene care, she said, Chelsea, you're so lucky to be able to go to school every day and have the sanitary hygiene products to allow you not to be absent. And I just said, wow, think about the aisles that we walk down, the grocery stores and the drugstores, and it's a whole aisle of feminine hygiene products. This is just so unfortunate that a simple sanitary hygiene pad is prohibiting an African woman to go to school, get an education, get a job, and provide for her family. And I said, that's just too crazy. What can I do to help? And I organized that first mission trip with my mom. We got Kotex and Delta to be a sponsor. And I also got CBS and Fox in local Florida to trust me to give me a camera, where I created then a 4-part docuseries on the network. And then that's when Kotex asked me to be their millennial spokesperson, and it just all went up from there. So really, this mission trip that was one of the best experiences of my life and the most gratifying really launched my career from the local level to a little bit more on a national level, and I just kept working hard at it.
Now, can you explain what you do as a millennial lifestyle expert?
Sure. I know the word millennial lifestyle expert. We throw the word expert around, and okay. So I've been working in the millennial space for 8 years, and I do a lot of great work with millennials. But I like the word influencer, because I want my platform to be a place where I could showcase other influencers and influence people on various different topics, hopefully for the betterment in your life. And a day in the life of what I do is always so different. My parents, my friends, my grandparents, they're always just like, what are you doing today? And every day is a different day. I could literally be at my computer all day working, producing speaking points for different networks. I produce content for networks like CBS and Fox and HLN and Bloomberg TV, The Today Show. I produce segments for national syndicated spots like Anderson Cooper, Wendy Williams. I could be in the field. I could be doing a story. I could be covering an event. I could be working with Cosmopolitan. I work with them as their Millennial Advisory Board member. I have been launching a startup, which has been taking about 80% of my time. And then I'm hosting a radio show every Wednesday night, Twitter party every Tuesday night. So it's very busy. It's very exciting because it's never repetitive. It's always something new. I work with lots of Fortune 500 big brands, so whether it's creating activations for them, the social sphere, or speaking on panels, it is always different.
That's awesome.
That is so cool.
Going back to your radio show for a second, like in the beginning, what inspired you to go to that radio station with your idea for a show?
Such a great question. So I was 16 at the time, and it was 8 years ago. And when that time period it was Nicole Richie, Lindsay Lohan, and Paris Hilton on every single cover. They were the Kardashians. And they were 90 pounds, and they had Coke stains on their dresses, and they were partying till 4 in the morning, and they were getting DUIs, and they were representing today's generation. And I was just like, I do not agree. I feel like there's so much more depth to this generation. I was 16 years old, and all of my friends were working their booties off to get into college, to get high SAT scores. We all knew that we wanted to do something within our career. We did not want to be socialites partying until 4 a.m. Don't get me wrong, my friends and I had a lot of fun, but we also knew how to hustle. And I felt like there was no platform that was giving entertaining information, but also educational information that could help us for the better. And so that's what kind of sparked the idea, and my mom and I are very close. She also worked in PR. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with Jordache Jeans, Heidi Klum.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Jordache Jeans, my mom was their PR person upon launch, so she actually brought Jordache to what they are today. So she really taught me a lot about this industry. If I didn't have my mom in my corner, I'm not sure how I would have known to do many things. I mean, she taught me how to promote myself. She taught me how to network. She taught me how to do PR at 16, which was the best crash course ever. I mean, it felt like I went to, I had a degree in PR, and it was literally just learning from my mentor, my mom, and having a mentor is everything. So I sat with her, yellow spiral notepad and a mechanical pencil, and I wrote down topic after topic of what I wanted to discuss amongst this generation. So, thinking back to my 16-year-old self, it was, body image issues and eating disorders and STDs and teen pregnancy and how to get into college and SATs and ACTs and relationships and Mean Girls. I mean, and also skin, hair, and beauty and entertainment and playing games, and we had so much fun. And packaging it into the show called Teen Talk Live. And I took it to that local AM radio station. I sat in a room with the head of the station. He was, 60 years old. He's probably creeping on 70 now, so totally not a teenager. And he said, Chelsea, our demographic is 60 plus. How do you plan on, speaking to teenagers through this demographic channel that's totally not, there's a disconnect. And I said, Ken, his name was Ken, I promise I'm going to make AM radio cool and bring you a whole other demographic. And the least you could do is let me prove to you that I'm worthy of your time. Because trusting a 16-year-old to host live radio could be a little scary, especially if she doesn't know what she's doing. Now, we're so much more savvy because there's so many resources. I mean, you just taught me how to put, you were trying to teach me how to put my name on the bottom. We had Google Pluses and Vine videos and Instagram and podcasts. There was none of that when I started. So he really took a major risk. But I simply thought of an idea. It's called a treatment when you have a show. I put a treatment together, and that was just solidifying what the show was, what the mission, and how it could work. And then I pitched it. And pitching it is, selling your idea, selling your concept, selling your passion, proving to them why they should invest in you. And it worked. It worked. He gave me a chance, and he said, Chelsea, I want to help start your career, and he really did.
That's awesome. That's great. Very cool. So you seem like you really love what you do, and you've obviously been so successful in it. So how do you suggest that someone who is really passionate about something turn that into a successful career?
Well, you know what? That's another great question. I love talking about the topic of building your own personal brand. It doesn't matter whether you want to work in PR, you want to work in marketing, you want to work in fashion, you want to work in hospitality. Those types of, it's different if you want to work in engineering or medicine or law. So the more of the creative careers, you have the opportunity to help establish and build your personal brand via the social space. I mean, you can literally create your own podcast, you can create your own internet radio show, you can create your own blog, you can create your own WordPress website, which is very easy to do, and you can start establishing your presence. You can start establishing your voice. Establishing your voice is something incredibly important that I think many of us, that is kind of the tool for success, whether you do want to work in hosting or writing or blogging, radio, whatever it may be, whatever medium you may want to work in. I totally recommend you to define your voice and what area of that are you going to focus on. And at the time when I chose the millennial generation, it was perfect timing. I was 16 years old. There were no influencers within the teenage generation, and I heard the term millennial when I was 18, and I ran with it. And now I'm starting to get recognized for someone who's an influencer in the millennial genre. So, whether it's fashion, whether it's finance, whether it's health, whether it's nutrition, what does your voice sound like? What do you want to speak about, and how do you want to speak about it? And use social media. Use LinkedIn if you want to find a job. Use Twitter to connect, network, and engage. Use Facebook to promote yourself and showcase more things like videos and images. And definitely start a blog. You can always post videos and also word content to a blog. So all of that together is kind of like this digital resume. Whether you just are attracting people to follow your own personal thing, or you're trying to get yourself into the next thing, having that personal brand, you'll be able to take that brand and bring it into that other outlet, and they'll be really happy about that. For example, Cosmopolitan and my platform was a great match because they were looking to attract a millennial demo, and that's what my platform does. So the fact that I built that platform, established that voice, it was easy for Cosmo to pick me out and pluck me in. Does that make sense?
Definitely. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Chelsea, you just named so many digital ways that students can help themselves become more successful. But how do you think internships can help students throughout their high school and college careers become more successful?
I just had this conversation last week with a brilliant, brilliant student. She's finishing at Emory, and she's kind of in the flux. She doesn't know necessarily what exactly she wants to do, but she knows that she wants to be in the area of communication. And she said, how do you even get your foot in the door to possibly get to a level where you're producing for television or for radio, for print publication? And I said, internships. Internships are everything. Internships allow you to gain the experience because you can't be thrown into this communication industry and not know what you're doing. I mean, you have to know certain things when it comes to producing for television versus radio versus print publication or digital publication. The lay of the land is different. So interning at either one of those or multiple is fantastic. Experience, experience, experience is everything. And then within that internship, you should also be networking like it's nobody's business. Like lipglossing should always be at the forefront of everybody's mind. My mom has ingrained it in me that I should never leave the house with 3 things: lip gloss, my wallet, and business cards. Business cards because you never know who you're going to meet and where. And let me tell you, those business cards have come in handy so many times where I've circled back with those people and then ended up working with them. So aside from the networking and the experience, it's you personally having the opportunity to create relationships that you could leverage for that next job, that you could leverage for something else, and that you could create friendships within the career that you want to go down. And that is so vital. I know that a lot of internships are not paid, and unfortunately, many people's financial situations can't afford that. So my advice is find something that you can get means to an end, so that you have the opportunity to internship, even if it's if you could be interning. I've interned at Fox for no money. I interned at a few other places for no money, and the reward was so worth it, but I was getting paid elsewhere. So you have to strategize that way. Everyone's financial situation is different, but internships are also what you make of it. So if you go in and you think outside of the box and not just follow X, Y, and Z, they're going to remember you, and they're going to look out for you, and they're going to be like, oh, I remember that girl, or I want to have that girl, and maybe hire you right there on the spot. It happened to many of my friends who took the internships like a job position.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Sounds like you've really made a name for yourself, and you really took charge of your own life, and I think that is awesome. And with that being said, how did early entrepreneurship help you develop your career into what it is today?
You know, girls, I would be doing it injustice if I didn't say this. It may seem like I might have my SHIT together, but it took a lot of trial and error. I had so many days where I wanted to rip my hair out and say, I can't do this anymore. I don't know what direction to take. And I think that's part of the journey, and I think that's a part of everyone's journey to becoming a success. So I think instead of being frightened by failure, the mindset needs to be, how can I think of the alternative way to get around that hurdle? So I just wanted to make sure to say that, because I wish I had a peer mentor to be able to say that to me when I was first starting, because going back 8 years ago, my mentors were Barbara Walters and Oprah, who were a little bit not reachable. So to have someone, there are so many great influencers in this space to be able to really learn from and role model after. I'm so happy. I'm so happy because I'm a living, breathing millennial. I went through high school, I went through college, I went through student loans, and I'm trying to figure out too. So I don't even know what the question was, but I did want to make sure to say that.
Okay. So at iaam, we love fashion. We love talking about it. So we wanted to know how you defined fashion.
Oh, I love fashion. I say fashion is a passion. It is so hot in LA right now. I couldn't even think about putting anything with sleeves on. Fashion totally comes from your inner self. I have so many friends who work in fashion. I have so many friends who work on even bloggers in the fashion space, and they all will tell you the same thing. Fashion is an extension of your own identity. And my boyfriend and I were just talking about it because we were talking about fashion with one of my fashion blogger friends. And that person said to me, like, Chelsea, I can't even put you in a category for what your fashion is, whether you were preppy or rocker chick or sophisticated or bohemian. I like to mesh it all together. And I think it's however I feel that day, whatever mood I'm in, whatever location I'm in, whatever occasion it might be, that's the way that I dress, and that's the way that I define it. I love how fashion kind of has no rules right now. Like, that whole thing, you can't wear white after Labor Day, and you can't mix black and blue, and you can't mix stripes with, like, I have, like, pink shorts on right now. You know, you can kind of do anything and make it work, but you have to own it. And owning your fashion sense is everything, too.
Totally.
Awesome. What inspires your fashion style?
Okay, well, when it comes to fashion, I kind of call myself, I have like 2 alter egos. I have like this, you know, glam goddess inside of me where I love to have big hair and, you know, curled eyelashes and stellar shoes on, and then I have that like free spirit, go with the flow. My family calls me Wandering Willow because I do love very loose-fitting things that let me breathe, that let me do a split if I want to do a split. Let me do a cartwheel in the grass if I feel like doing a cartwheel. It really depends on my vibe and where I am. But I definitely love like that sophisticated blazer, crop pant, pointy-toed heel look. And then I do love the high-waisted flare pants with like a crop top. It can go either way. Depends on the day, and depends how skinny I feel that day.
So what would be your fashion advice to teenagers?
Okay, for teenagers, I feel like when we're teenagers, sometimes we don't dress for us. We dress for the boys we may like, the group that we're in. You know, there's usually always like a queen bee around the 15 to 18-year-olds, and it's like, what is the queen bee kind of like or not like? If I could go back to those times when I was a victim of being bullied. I was a victim of cyberbullying. I was the type of girl that hated confrontation, so I was just like, okay, yes, I'm going to go do my own thing. And sometimes me doing my own thing didn't work because they didn't like that it didn't beat to their drum. But I wish I could just say, you know what, take it or leave it, because I am me, and you can either like me for who I am or don't, you know? And I feel like you have to dress for yourself. Also, when you're 16 years old, you may want to feel a little sexy. It's so not a good look. There's this very fine line between sexy and skanky.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the crop top is in, but don't abuse it. You know, like don't wear the bralette when you're 16 years old. I just don't think it's appropriate. I'm 23. I'm not a mother. However, when I see those girls dressing like that, they're just putting themselves out there for, and people are putting a wrong impression on them. And 16 is a very pivotal time. You're growing your character. You're getting ready to go to college. And when you go into college, you should establish who you are, and you should establish yourself, that you respect yourself. Because when you respect yourself, people do respect you. And a lot of people judge a book by their cover. They will judge you by your appearance. And do you want to be judged by your appearance, or do you want to be judged for who you genuinely are? And that's what your fashion should also speak to as well.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So we wanted to know, how is your lounging around the house style different from your work style?
Ooh, okay. Well, my lounging around the house style is really, really comfortable. Like I have an obsession for my boyfriend's boxers. Yep, so you can find me like in boxers and a t-shirt a lot of the time. On the weekend when I don't have to work, I am totally the anti-work Chelsea. So I would say that this is kind of an anti-work Chelsea. I knew that I was speaking with young, fresh-faced girls today, and I'm barely wearing makeup, and it's really hot, so I have like shorts on. So you can find me in like jean shorts, big t-shirts, or flowy pants, or workout clothes. I'm all about hiking and yoga on the weekend. So I'll just like wear my hiking and yoga pants to just feel good and flexible. I like feeling
Awesome.
I want to know, what is your fashion piece, like go-to fashion piece when you're in a big hurry?
when I'm in a big hurry. Okay, I think that shoes are a really great statement piece. Like I'm about the strappy sandals that kind of go up the ankle. I feel like it also kind of elongates the leg. So I'll put on a good skinny jean, I'll cuff them right to the ankle bone, and then I'll do like a nice strappy sandal, and I feel like that is just like, ooh, you're ready to go out on the town. And then like a gray top and possibly a blazer if it's not 100 degrees outside. I would say that a blazer is my go-to because I feel great in a blazer whether I'm working or whether I'm out on the town. I think that blazers are so sharp. I think they're so sophisticated. I think they're so fashionable. And I love that I have blazers from Helmut Lang, and then I love that I have blazers from H&M. And I have both, and I love them both, and I wear them both on camera. So blazers and shoes. Those are my things. Yeah.
Awesome. So now, what is your favorite accessory that you love to wear every day or every other day or just most of the time in general?
My favorite accessory is definitely this ring. Tell me if you guys.
Oh, it's so pretty.
It's pretty.
It's extremely vibrant. My boyfriend and I have been together since we've known each other since we were in 7th grade.
Oh.
That is cute.
It is kind of cute. Middle school, it happened. And we've had other people in between, but we're just always a pretty united front. And he just got me this ring to let me know how much I mean to him. Not like I own you ring, like I love you ring. And so that's my favorite accessory. I don't care if I'm in pajamas walking around the house. I will have this ring on. I love it. It means so much to me.
That's so nice.
That's great. That's awesome.
Like Boy Meets World. I love it.
I have to say, aside from this ring, my mother and my grandmother have beautiful gold antique jewelry and my mom's name is Cindy, so we both share the letter C. So she has beautiful C jewelry, and I love all of that jewelry. I get the most compliments on that jewelry because they're truly, truly beautiful, and they look like they're from another time period. They have that very vintage antique vibe. So I love that too. On the weekends, you can find me at like flea markets and flea festivals. I love vintage. I love DIY, refurbishing things. So I do like reupholstering things.
Awesome. Very cool.
So how would you suggest a person dress like for an interview?
Such an important question. Actually, I recently was doing some research on this topic, and I don't want to misquote the stat. However, I think it was around 60% of HR managers do have an opinion on you of how you're dressed before you actually sit down.
Right.
Which is kind of not super cool because everyone has different fashion senses, but everyone does judge books by its cover. So, you know what? I don't care if you're going to, audition or do an interview for a waitress opportunity or something at Starbucks or Cosmopolitan Magazine or Fox News. I think either way, you should go as professional as possible, showing them that you mean business and that you're dedicated to being in their career space. So you can never go wrong in the girls' side. Even if I was going to wear this shirt that's just collared, if I throw on a white blazer and dark skinny jeans and nice shoes, then that's presentable. And if you're going to an establishment, which you should always do your research online, and you can kind of get a vibe for what the dress attire would be online, then maybe it's nice pants and not denim. And if you ever do wear denim, it should be very dark denim so that it looks like nice pants. But Forever 21 and H&M have some of my favorite pants. Some of my favorite pants that are not denim, I wear all the time from Forever and H&M, as well as blazers. So you can definitely find, affordable workwear attire and look presentable and also look great.
Cool. Awesome.
Okay, so now it's time for some fun, super quick questions.
Okay.
So, what is your favorite TV show right now?
I'm like a TV addict. I absolutely love it.
Oh my, it's really a problem.
Such a problem because I don't have enough time to watch all the shows that I like. So when I do have time, I'm just binge watching television. So probably my most favorite show at the moment is House of Cards.
I love that show.
The second season.
Super in love with that, and I love the show Masters of Sex, and I can't wait for the second season to come back.
That's a good one too.
Mm-hmm.
I'm obsessed with Lily Kaplan. I love her.
She's so great. I love her.
And then, like, every time I see Sex in the City on television, like, I have to
Oh my gosh, I love that show.
love it. And my guilty pleasure is The Real Housewives. I do. I watch them. I watch OC and Beverly Hills and New York City. Yeah, that's my total pleasure.
I am a Real Housewives addict, so I can sympathize with you on that. I want to know also, what's your favorite thing to do besides watching TV, aside from your career?
I am super, super close with my family. I live on the West Coast now, and my boyfriend and I both moved to the West Coast together, so we're kind of this unit over here, aside from the friends that we've made, and both of our families are actually in Florida. So our families are also extremely close. So I love spending time with them whenever I possibly can. But on the other side of that, I'm always at flea festivals, farmers markets. I really love to be outdoors, whether it's paddleboarding, hiking, biking, rollerblading, just chilling by the beach. I love the outdoors, which is one of the reasons why I moved from New York to LA, because I could not take the concrete jungle anymore. My favorite thing in the world to do, which I don't get to do enough, is horseback ride. I actually grew up horseback riding and competing in horses when I was little. So I'm dedicated to finding a barn out here where I can ride. But my boyfriend and I spend way too much time also poking into dog shelters because we're on this mission to get a dog, although we shouldn't. Outdoors, animals, we're super into health and wellness too. We love cooking, we love juicing and making smoothies, and oh, that's the other cat, that's Storm. Only have two, not crazy at cat lady. But yeah, those are some things. And then I'm a girly girl, so I really love hanging out with my girlfriends, doing the nails day, or just spending time with your girlfriends and like connecting. It's so important. When I have free time, I like to not be super busy. That's when I decompress and I can like recenter myself. It's very important for everyone to have alone time and you time, and I am big on that.
Awesome. What is your all-time favorite movie?
All-time favorite movie. Okay, well, if Bridesmaids is on, then I have to watch it, especially the plane scene. Where that's one of my favorite scenes in the entire world. One of my all-time favorite movies is Now and Then. Are you familiar with it?
Yeah, that's a great film.
Such a great film with Christina Ricci, and I'm blanking on a few other names, but it's such a good girls' night classic with a glass of wine. Like, it's so good. And then Overboard. Do you know Overboard?
Yeah.
That's like mine and my grandma's movies, so I love Overboard. And then do you know what movie I just saw, which I was freaking out because I loved it so much, aside from Frozen, I loved Frozen, was Rio. I loved it. I hadn't seen it. The first Rio.
With the macaw, like the birds.
Yes, I love
that movie.
That's a good movie.
It's so cute.
Amazing. I loved it. And my favorite book in the world was The Help, and so when that came out, I freaked out.
Yeah. So are you an early bird or a night owl?
I don't. I don't love waking up early, but I get the most work done and most efficient work done in the morning. So I will crank stuff out from 8 to 1, and then like after 1, that's when I kind of like get a little ADD.
So heels or flats?
I'm a mid person. So I like to have like a little height during the day. Like, you know those like midi heels, like the straps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sam Edelman kind of never does me wrong. They always have a great strappy sandal with a little bit of a wedge. I will wear those all day long, and then when I do have to wear heels, I'm like a high heel girl. Like the higher the heel, the higher the heaven for me.
So Jennifer Lopez or Jennifer Aniston?
I want to be Jennifer Aniston's friend, but I want J-Lo's glam squad and wardrobe and color. Because it's perfect.
Awesome. Skirt or jeans?
Jeans, 100%.
So now into some like lifestyle questions. How do you keep your mind and your body active?
I actually, I don't know if you guys have ever heard of the school IIN, Institute of Integrative Nutrition. That is a tongue twister, but it goes by IIN, and it's to get your health coach certification. And I always said if I wasn't in media, because I'm definitely not smart enough in the math and science department to really be a doctor now, I would be in health and wellness and nutrition. I absolutely love it. It's my passion to exposing people to new ways of eating and working out and feeling fit, because I really believe in the motto: look good, feel good, work amazing. So I am extremely dedicated to implementing superfoods in my diet. Are you guys familiar with what superfoods are?
Yeah.
Vaguely.
So some superfoods entail like avocado, goji berries, matcha green tea, acai,
Berries. Yeah.
hemp protein, chia seeds, almond milk. So I try to implement superfoods into my diet every day, because so many of those superfoods have great effects on your hair, on your skin, on your nails, on your energy, on your mood. So I try to do that. I actually got my whole family into superfoods. That was like an amazing feat for me. Like my dad is obsessed with goji berries, which is And then I used to be the person that used to stress out about getting into the gym. If I didn't get into the gym, I wouldn't feel good. I would feel guilty, which I realized wasn't healthy either. Because working out should be a stress release, not a stress inhibitor. And I realized that probably what I was doing in the gym, because I was really into feeling strong and lifting weights and learning on the Stairmaster, and I realized that I was just getting bulky. I like to feel more lean and long. So about 2 years ago, I completely changed my workout routine to yoga and Pilates and to hiking and spinning, and I totally saw a shift in my body for the better. My waist totally shrunk. I had to get all of my favorite clothes taken in, and I actually work out less than I ever have, but I'm just doing the workouts that are better for my body. And everybody needs to go on that personal journey, but I always recommend people trying yoga if you haven't, because it's a life changer. And everyone who I've recommended yoga to and who does it now thanks me. So I recommend yoga for everyone.
Great. Awesome.
So you do so many things, whether it be, being an entrepreneur, being a millennial lifestyle expert. So what coping skills do you use to manage stress?
Oh, that's a great one. I'm not super well with managing stress. Being extremely honest, I hold my stress internally, so I feel it in my stomach, and I get like a burning sensation, or I'll also get stress headaches.
Mm-hmm.
So yoga really helps for me to remember to breathe, because breathing is such a stress release or stress inducer, because I tend to hold my breath when I'm stressed out. I don't know where everyone's geographically located, but being outside is like my natural drug, because if I see the sun and I can see the blue sky and I can see an ocean or some mountains, depending on where everyone is, I really let go and I start to melt away. And definitely having a support system around you. It is so important for us young women to have supportive friends, to have supportive mentors, to have supportive boyfriends or significant others, if any of you do. Only surround yourself with positivity. Within the past year, I really took it upon myself to weed out the negative. I used to just hold on to things because I thought because I was supposed to do it instead of what felt best. You know, was that person really important in my life? Was I giving more than getting, or just, you know, was I even being heard? And your support system is really everything. If you're having a good day or a bad day, you should be able to call someone, and they should be there. They should be there for you as a cheerleader, or be able to bring you back up if you are down. And so those are some of the ways that I cope with stress. But I feel like stress is always an ongoing battle, and I feel like we're always going to have to just check in with ourselves to say, okay, do I need to take a break? Do I need to unplug? Do I need to shut my computer and have some me time? Because avoiding yourself could also bring on stress too. If you're just going and you don't take a break. Everyone needs to take a break, which is why they invented the weekend.
So you were just talking about positivity, and what do you think? How can students maintain a positive outlook while dealing with the pressures of school and college?
You know, if I was in high school right now, I would feel really open-minded. I would feel really positive. Reason being is because, you know, there's so much working against us in this world today, right? Like our job certainty is very hectic. We're at 16% unemployment rate. Students are graduating with $30,000 worth of student loans. So knowing this, I feel like if I was in high school, I would take college that much more seriously. What major do I want to go into? Because what major is going to possibly make me happy, but also money? And what also major is also available for job markets out there? Like if you Google the top 10 most lucrative majors, it'll tell you what jobs are in demand, which versus what jobs are not. And I would really be smarter that way, because even if it wasn't, you know, the major that was going to bring me lifelong happiness, the amount of people that actually use their major in their life forever are so slim. So having more of a worldly experience going into, you don't need to go to the best college. You don't need to go to the most expensive college. College is the opportunity that you make it. So maybe you go to a community school. Maybe you go to a scholarship school. I know in Florida I had Florida prepaid. My boyfriend took full advantage of Florida prepaid so that he could take unpaid internship. So he was really smart that way. So he graduated with 0 student loan debt. So I would be smart in that way and kind of cheating the system. So instead of falling victim to the system, educate yourself on what's going to get you ahead in the longer run, which is what major to apply into, what internships are within that space, what college provides certain internship programs, what your college schedule will allow you to possibly have an internship or a part-time job, and start building your platform. Start building a following. Start building a presence on Twitter and LinkedIn especially, because you never know when that following is going to come to your, come to your advantage. One of the worst things I did was actually boycott Twitter. So I was 18 years old when Twitter came out, and because I was cyberbullied at that time, I said to myself, not going to sign up for Twitter. Don't need another outlet to get bullied. Worst thing I did, because 1, I let the bully win, and 2, I left out, there was so much time where I could have been networking with people and meeting people, and also building my following. So building your presence, building your network, you know, extending your reach to those people who could be helpful for you down the road. So vital, so important, and so awesome to be able to start that in high school. You got so much life ahead of you.
Absolutely. Now, what advice do you have for college students who are trying to maintain a healthy lifestyle? Because I know that some of the dining halls don't have the healthiest foods. I know that when I was in college, it wasn't always the healthiest. So what advice do you have for them who they want to stay healthy, eat healthy, stay fit, that kind of thing?
You know, it's unfortunate that to be healthy today takes a lot of money. You know, like juices are $11. You know, organic food is so much more expensive. It's unfortunate because the better thing for you should be easier for you to get, and that's just not the case. You know, you go to McDonald's, you get a whole meal that's gross for $1. You know, so when in high school, one of the biggest, you know, things that doesn't work for us women is more the alcohol than the food. The alcohol instantly sticks to your body and store the alcohol like fat, which is why we have that thing called the freshman 15, and girls kind of start to see, like, you know, that belly bulge a little bit, and everyone gets a little puffy. It's because of how our body's retaining the alcohol. So here's a way to kind of cheat that system too. There's something called charcoal pills, and there's also something called chlorella. And you can look them up and do your research for your own. But if you are going out on the town and you are going to have, you know, more than 1 or 2 drinks, which I never recommend you do anyway. Like, do you really need 3 or 4? You know, 1 or 2 is usually enough. You know, right? So take a charcoal pill and then drink a whole glass of water, because it'll help it'll help align your body better, it'll help absorb that alcohol in your system. So research some things that could possibly be healthier for you, because in college you have to have fun, you have to go out, you have to be social. So those are some tips. But then also when it comes to food, having your own food, don't rely on, you know, what's available in the cafeteria. I know could cost, you know, some money as well, but if you're going to spend money, it should be on things that you put into your body. That's my motto. You know, I'd much rather purchase a workout DVD and work out in my apartment than not be able to buy the organic food in the grocery store and spend money on a gym membership. So what could you know, spend less money on so that you can spend more money on some healthier alternatives? There are so many alternatives out there that some of us don't know about, like quinoa and farro and barley and wheat germ. Those are all other carbohydrates, so you don't always need to turn to pasta or potatoes or white bread. So, you know, sticking to the healthier alternatives is always better. I personally try to go for a vegetarian vegan diet, which I think also works better for my body. It takes so much for us women to break down meat and processed meat. Especially for girls who, you know, we all have our menstrual cycle. It's so much better not to put those hormones and pesticides in our body. So if you can avoid some of those things and stick to alternatives, definitely better. I also love coconut water. It's usually in my fridge at all times. And if you do work out, a little coconut water before or after is great to rehydrate yourself. Also great for the skin, hair, and nails.
Awesome. So at iaam, we're huge advocates of the belief that smart is sexy. And this means really that independence, intellect, and positivity are like better than, not better, but we value that over looks alone. So as a millennial, what are your thoughts on the idea that smart is sexy?
I think there's nothing sexier than a smart, educated, well-rounded, experienced woman. I really don't. I think that looks are starting to become less important. I think that we realize that, you know, I feel like we got so bombarded by reality television. It was all about this superficial lifestyle and superficial look, and I kind of feel like now we're starting to realize that that's just not everyone, that's just not normal. I feel like it kind of distorts what beauty is. I think that, you know, it's more okay to accept your inner being, and, you know, there's more campaigns out there that for makeup, you know, less makeup is more makeup now. So I think also beauty is the way that you feel about yourself. You know, if you're confident and you feel strong about who you are, that like radiates from the inside out. And although it may sound cheesy, I really believe that to be true. Girls who are so insecure, although they're so beautiful, I walk right by on the street, and I'm like, oh, that girl really needs to work on her self-confidence, versus the girl who, you know, is strutting down the street and smiling and being friendly. Like, I'd much rather gravitate to someone like that. So I think beauty is what you define it to be, and there's so many different versions of beauty. You know, universal beauty should not be 6 foot, you know, 0 waist, legs up to here. You know, beauty is so much more than that. And beauty is, I truly think that smarts, you know, bring you smart is beauty. Smarts is.
Great. So how has being smart and sexy helped you in your success?
I had a lot of personal struggle when I was little. When I was born, my mom said that I came out with a full head of hair and rosy cheeks. And by the time I was 4 or 5 years old, I was modeling. And I was modeling in Miami. And I have vague memories of certain things, but I really remember this day. I went to this casting in Miami. I think I was literally 6 or 7 years old at this time. I have pictures of this day. And I got taken to the next round, and it was actually to be on the Disney Channel. And my mom and I drove to Orlando, and I sat down with the casting director, and he said, Chelsea, why do you want to be a part of this show? And I said, I don't really want to be a part of the show. I really want to hang out with Mickey and Minnie, because I was in Orlando. And he goes, okay, next. And he, like, you know, booted me out of the room and grabbed the next person. And I turned to my mom at 7 years old, and I was like, are we going to Disney now? So my mom was like, okay, this isn't for her. So I went through that little modeling scene, totally not for me. And I ended up kind of rebelling against the girly thing. I was a barn rat. I was a competitive horseback rider. I loved to, you couldn't find me in a dress. My hair was always in a ponytail. I was a bit chubby. I was, you know, this horseback riding girl. And I started to have, I was also at the time I used to dance in hip hop as well. And I would be dancing, and I just wouldn't feel confident in my skin because I didn't like the way that I looked in the mirror. And by the time I was 14, 15 years old, I started to not eat. And I started having body image issues and, you know, skipping meals, and I was not healthy. And I went from a size 4 to a size 00. So I totally knew what it was like to be on the opposite side of the spectrum, to be a little overweight, and a size 4 at age 13, you know, that's different than a 23-year-old being size 4. I was wearing a bigger size than my own mom. Chipmunk, and people used to call me Meatball and Chipmunk all the time. And so I went to the lower end of the spectrum, which was, you know, being a size -0. And I realized that that wasn't healthy either. I had to find this happy medium between being physically fit, healthy, and comfortable with who I was. And that's when I started to educate myself more on nutrition. I started to educate myself more on nutrition and health and wellness and fitness, and understanding the health aspect to being skinny. Because being skinny sometimes doesn't mean being healthy. There's a term called skinny fat, because there are a lot of girls who are super skinny, but they're not toned, and and that's the term where skinny fat comes from. You know, I think it's not about being skinny. I think it's about being comfortable in clothes for you. Like, I know that I feel comfortable in a certain size versus a different size. And also being comfortable with, you know, just how you feel in everyday life. And everyone has to find that within themselves and define what size and what beauty is for you. I mean, there is no one size fits all today, which is also a beautiful thing.
You're talking about this struggle of looking good and feeling good. How do you juggle working and looking good at the same time?
It is a juggle. Sometimes I have several weeks where I am, like, on this, you know, kick. I am super healthy. You can see it on my Instagram. I'm posting, you know, avocado sandwiches, and I'm posting green smoothies, and I'm posting superfood Sundays, and then I have other weeks that I'm posting a hamburger and French fries because I need it. And I don't have it, then I will, like, bite my fist off. And you have to listen to yourself. I feel like when you deprive yourself, that's when it all goes wrong. Because when I deprive myself of something for too long, I then go and I have a lot of it, which is not healthy either. So I try to implement healthy and my snacks, like what I know that I need to binge on, which is usually chocolate. So I make sure that I have it in moderation so that I never feel like, oh no, I haven't had it in too long and I need to have a lot of it now to make up for the time lost. With working, a lot of people will tell you I bring food with me everywhere. I have my own little green lunchbox, and I'll bring juices with me. I'll bring snacks with me. I feel like when you're hungry, you should eat, but you should eat something that's healthy. You shouldn't go eat, McDonald's French fries because you can do the drive-thru. You should have almonds that are in your purse at all times. I always have thin bars in my kitchen. I love throwing thin bars in my bag, especially the creamy peanut butter ones. And also making time for your workout routine is very hard, especially with a schedule like mine where my hours are always changing. So I like to work out more in the morning. I feel so much better throughout the rest of the day, but I will work out in the afternoon. Actually, when we hang up, I'm going to do T25, which is that Sean T 25-minute workout with my boyfriend. So it's 25 minutes of the day. Come on, everyone has 25 minutes of the day, even if you really don't want to do it. 25 minutes over in a flash, and you got a great workout in. I will do a lot of working out from home because it just is simple. It's there. I can do it. I can bang it out, and then I can go right back to what I got to do.
Awesome. What are the 3 words that describe you?
Ooh, motivated, creative, and passionate.
Awesome.
I like those 3.
Those are good words. So what quality do you find most sexy in a person?
I love when people, guy or girl, or doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
I love when people ask you questions and then also can story tell. So you feel like you're having a very fluid conversation. It's not like someone's speaking at you or someone's just solely speaking about themselves. I love when people are genuinely interested, but because they want to get to know you, not because they're kind of attacking you. I love people who can carry conversations about the most randomest things in the world, and I'm totally intrigued, and I get lost in track of time. I talk a lot within my career, whether it's on an interview or a phone interview, or even if it's a Twitter party, I still feel like I'm talking through my fingers. Radio show. So when someone can talk with me and totally, capture me into the moment, or also educate me on something that I don't know about, I love that. And I love when people are just like down to earth and they're down to do whatever. Like, okay, you want to go for a hike? Great. Okay, you want to go to a club and stay out till 2 in the morning? Great. Like, yeah, I'm kind of all over the place. And I like when people are very go with the flow and, kind of down for new experiences. I like adventure things. I'm pretty adventurous, I will say that.
Great.
Awesome.
So now we're going to go into our second round of the really quick rapid-fire questions.
Okay.
So leather or glitter?
Oh, leather. Leather.
Bradley Cooper or Brad Pitt?
Bradley Cooper.
Coffee or tea?
Okay. Well, it was coffee, and now I'm super into green tea and matcha green tea.
Awesome.
What is your guilty pleasure?
Guilty pleasure. Guilty pleasure that I can say within this interview. Sweet, like dessert. Like, I kind of lose all common sense, and I kind of go crazy over desserts.
Great. Go-to karaoke song?
Oh, I sing like so many songs, but what about, oh, you know what I've been singing right now? I can't get it out of my head. Shakira's new song, Empire.
Ooh.
Yeah. My boyfriend was like,
This kind of goes with the next one. Who's your favorite musical icon then? Is it Shakira or someone else?
I love Shakira, but I am a Queen Bee girl. Beyonce can do no wrong. I adore that woman.
So here at IAM, we run an interactive anti-bullying campaign all year round to encourage teens to be the one who takes the ultimate stand against bullying using the hashtag Be the One Who on social media to promote awareness and community support. So what advice do you have for teens who are bullied in terms of standing up for themselves and building self-esteem?
Being there, I've been a victim of bullying, both from girls and boys. So I know what it's like to be from, you know, 'cause I feel like it's different kind of bullying when a girl's bullying a girl versus a guy's bullying a girl. Which both are totally not cool. But when it comes to face-to-face bullying, my mom always, you know, this is probably one quote that I also live by too, is kill everyone with kindness because in the end you will come out smelling like a rose. And I feel like it's very easy to let people push your buttons. And it's very easy to get frustrated and very easy to want to possibly, you know, do a little push or a little pull because like there were so many times that I was like, I wish I was a guy and I could just punch her in the face and then I would be done with it by now. But that's not going to, you know, be the solution. So kill everyone with kindness, come out smelling with a rose. I, you know, was getting attacked by these girls and I never retaliated back. Retaliating back is just setting yourself up so much more for more bullying down the road. When it came to bullying online, I never sent any message back that was going to be able for them to retwist something or copy and paste something or print it out and bring it to the principal. I really, really, really tried to be as humble as possible when I was being bullied and knowing that there was something truly going on in their life that was upsetting them, which is why they were taking it out on me. Because people aren't mean just to be mean. People are mean because they're upset about something, because something's not good in their home life, because something's not going on internally for them, and they pick on the people that they feel threatened by, they pick on the people that they are jealous of, and they pick on the people that they think are got it going on. You know, like there's something good about that person. I'm going to try to bring them down. Or they just pick on the weak people just to make them feel that much bigger. So I feel like knowing that, it should make the victims of the bully just say, you know what, I kind of feel bad for that person, and they have to spend so much energy, negative energy, putting it on me, when there's so many other things to really worry about in the world, and there's so much better things to do in the world. It takes so much energy for me to be mad at someone, upset with someone, or mean to someone. It's so much easier to just be nice. So, you know, once again, you know, kill the person with kindness, come out smelling like a rose, and especially online because you never know who they can send, share, showcase. Just keep it a low profile. Retaliating is never the way to go. And victims of bullying that overcome it and don't let bullying define them are the stronger people in the world. So use that pain that you feel from being a bully and channel it to create something better. And that's really what I did with the radio show because that was like my prime time of being bullied. And I took all of that negative energy and I wanted to create something positive with it. And so maybe you have to devote your time into something, a new hobby, trying something new, learning a new language, whatever it may be. I think dedicating your own personal time into something bigger than yourself, something for the better, being a part of an anti-bullying campaign. I did a lot of philanthropic work within my community. Those ways of channeling that negative energy and creating it into a positive is so much better for yourself. And once the bullies start to realize that you're stronger than their words, they're going to like move on or possibly, you know, think to themselves, maybe I'm just not doing something right here.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's such good advice, and really, I think a lot of people will take that to heart. So you mentioned a lot that you have a lot of friends, you're really close with your family, you have a boyfriend that you moved to LA with, like you clearly have a lot of very healthy relationships in your life. So how do you manage your career and those personal relationships?
Unfortunately, I probably don't keep up with some of my friends as much as I should. A lot of my friends are on the East Coast, so calling people is so hard today. It's like so much easier to pop them an email, send them a text message, send them a Snapchat, tweet them, but picking up the phone and calling them is like so foreign today. And I swear on my life, I actually called my best friend in the car earlier today, and she didn't answer. And I would have been more shocked if she answered versus her now. So it's really I think what keeps those friendships for me is the solid face-to-face time. And I think the friends in my life who know me for who I am know that I'm the type of person that when I see you, I'm there. I'm connecting with you. I'm all yours. Versus when I'm working and I'm scattered, it's kind of harder for me to center myself and be totally there for you. But if my friends need me, if there is a crisis, if there's an emotional something, I am there for them. I don't care what I'm doing. It just recently happened with a girlfriend who, was in a sticky relationship and it ended, and anything that I can do to empower my friends, I will do. But face-to-face time is so important. I know it's so easy to get obsessed with our technology and just, I'll text you later. No, meet your friends for coffee, meet your friends for dinner. I have to make sure that I spend, travel to the East Coast to get FaceTime with people and make sure that people come visit me, too. I think there's nothing better than face-to-face time and doing fun things to create memories. I really like doing that.
Awesome.
You just gave us your advice on friendships, but what is your advice to young college students who are trying to balance romantic relationships and school?
That's a great question, and I think I lived through that. My boyfriend and I, his name is Jordan, I keep saying boyfriend. Jordan and I went to separate schools, but when we graduated high school and then went to college, we said to ourselves, okay, I was in New York and he was in Orlando at UCF. And it was so unnecessary for us to try to do this long distance relationship as freshmen and sophomores when you're meeting so many people and life is new and there's so many different people that you don't know, and that's the time to explore and have fun and meet new people and not feel attached. And him and I were mature. I feel it takes a very mature person to say, okay, I'm going to let you go so that you can go do your thing and I can go do my thing, but be able to still communicate every now and then. For example, my brother could not do that with his girlfriend, and they tried to do a long-distance relationship, and it just ended up being so toxic for them. So I know it's so much easier said than done for me to say, release your person and wish him the best and go do your thing, because if it's meant to be by your junior or senior year, when you're kind of got more of your life together, you're about to graduate, you possibly be moving for a job, if that person's still there for you, then that means something. And that's exactly what happened within my personal relationship. And that's why they also say a lot of high school relationships are the longest lasting, because you're able to have so much growth in between from high school to past to college, and you're able to still be there for one another. It means something. So I think if you are able to release the person that you're with and possibly still have a relationship, then that's amazing. But if you're in college and you like someone and he's on campus and he's available, yeah, of course, have boyfriends, have flings, whatever. But also know that you have to have you time, you have to have girl time, and if your relationship, your love relationship, your romantic relationship is nothing but positive, it's not worth it. Because when we're in our teens, when we're in our early 20s, there should be the golden years. There should be no negativity. There should be it should be only things that are bringing you up, not pulling you down.
So totally switching gears. What advice do you have for college graduates in terms of job hunting?
Job hunting is a very fierce and competitive world out there. It is going back to some of the things I was saying about building your own personal brand and gaining experience within internships. It's going to make it that much easier when applying to different jobs for them to feel that you will bring value to the company, to the brand, to the business, or organization, whatever it may be. There are lots of great resources out there that could help you build a resume and also send out that resume and follow up, appropriately with the job. LinkedIn is underrated, I think, amongst many 20 and younger. I think the sooner you start building your LinkedIn presence and your networking circles, the better, because over 70% of HR managers actually hire people off of LinkedIn. And I'm sure you guys are familiar with nastygal.com.
Yeah.
Yes.
Not last Wednesday, the last Wednesday on my radio show, I was interviewing the director, the HR manager. So she oversees all the HR managers within Nasty Gal, which is a huge company. I feel like every young girl would want to work for them. And she said, Chelsea, I only have hired staff through LinkedIn. And if people have solid LinkedIn profiles and they really take the time to upload their resumes and upload their accolades and upload their extracurriculars, like what else they have done, we really take that into initiative. And I think having internships in the experience in relation to the job that you're submitting your resume for is like the icing on the cake.
Awesome. What would you say to millennials who are struggling to reach their goals and dreams? Because I know that you said you faced your trials. So what would you say to some people who are just out of college and are getting discouraged because they can't find a job, or they're just struggling to find what they love?
Yeah, I feel like people need to realize that that's usually more of the norm. Like, many of us don't know what we're doing, and many of us are still trying to figure it out. And although I may be doing all the things that I'm doing, I'm still nervous about my future career and what paths I'm going to take. And I feel like you have to treat yourself as an evolution, right? So college is a part of your evolution. It gives you that credibility behind you as an individual to have a college career to implement into the workplace. And I feel like, having established internships and really taking networking, seriously is going to make that graduation process a little bit less stressful, because you've established mentors in certain workplaces, you've established connections in certain workplaces, you've also had the opportunity to explore different workplaces, whether, for example, I worked in radio and I worked in TV, and I knew that I wanted to work in TV. So, it allows you to kind of check things off your list, whether it's I do like or I don't like, and then you follow up with those people in the area that you like to maybe get them your personal resume, or for them to allow you, for them to actually get that contact for you. So, like my boyfriend says this, which is another great quote, stress is something that's created, right? So, stress is not like a real thing that we can grab onto. We all create it for ourselves. And stress is like the biggest barrier that allows you to actually get from stage 1 to stage 2, because we all are our own worst enemies sometimes. So, using your resources, taking the time to gain the experience in the workplace, whether it is here or there, you could extract things from all of your experiences to get to the next step. And that's going to have to totally come from you, that individual. But it's not taking anything, not taking advantage of anything. Don't take advantage of the opportunity that you have to go meet with that person, because you never know what that person could provide for you, share for you, or who they know that they can introduce you to. So the networking and the internships, all of those are such great resources and experiences in your life to then take to the next level after school. And for those of you who don't know what you want to do, at least try something that is in your wheelhouse of interest, because you never know where it could lead you to. if I went back to my 16-year-old self who was working at local AM radio, and I would say, okay, in 8 years from now, you would have done this, this, and this, and this, I would have said, no way. But you never know where one opportunity can lead to, but you have to make it happen. You have to be aggressive. You have to be the go-getter. I didn't get all the things on my resume because they fell into place. It's because I actively took steps to work to get them. I actively took steps to get more people, you know, within my Rolodex, which is, I'm not sure if you girls even know what a Rolodex is. Do you know what a Rolodex is? Yes. Someone just quizzed me because I said the word Rolodex, and she said, nobody your age knows the word Rolodex. And I was like, no, I think we do. Although we don't use them, we still say the word Rolodex. So I guess that's the answer to my question, because I do know that it's so hard to be a problem solver for everyone. Everyone does beat to their own drum. You know, I was just speaking to a young girl who wants to be an engineer, but doesn't know what direction to take. And, you know, her experience in philanthropy and giving back actually is what ended up getting her a job. So, like, you just never know what experience in life is going to inspire you or connect you to that person that landed you that dream job, or at least the job to get you to the next step.
Great. So sadly, we are at the end of our interview. So do you have any ideas on what your favorite quote might be?
You know, one of my best friends has a tattoo that says, "Live in the beauty of your own reality," which really speaks to me, because I feel like we all get distorted of what beauty is and what reality is. You know, I feel like social media kind of distorts what we think everyone's life is. Like, everyone's life just looks so peachy and fabulous. But, you know, would you ever post an ugly picture or a picture of you depressed? No, you wouldn't. So everyone looks great via social media. So it's live in the beauty of your own reality, because we really do get to create a lot of our own reality. So I'm going to channel one of my best friends, Bree, and use her quote as my quote.
Great.
Awesome.
I love that quote. And again, Chelsea, thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule to talk with us. We wish you the best of luck in your career endeavors, and I'm sure we're going to be hearing a lot more amazing things from you. Don't forget to follow Chelsea on her Twitter at Chelsea Krost, and visit her website, chelseacross.com. Be sure to follow her Millennial Talk, #Millennial Talk, every Tuesday at 8 p.m., and you can chat it up with her and get some career advice. Also, follow us on Twitter at iaam, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and check us out at iaam.com. You can find all of this information in the box below. Join us next time for I Am in Your Living Room, featuring some of the newest and upcoming teens and young adults like you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Chelsea.